Looking to trade your old bulk for some of the latest Pokemon booster boxes? Well, check ccgcastle.com. The process is very simple. Send in 1400 cards and get a brand new sealed booster box back. We ship boxes worldwide for free once we get your cards. Make sure to check video description or check ccgcastle.com for more informations. How's it going, Pokefans? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we'll be looking at Yveltal-EX deck featuring Friday Night and Drampa-GX. So, it's a very interesting deck in the standard format. That Drampa is a pretty cool card. I kind of like it because it can strike for like so many damage counters. It can also be good with that first attack against decks that actually use just special energies. For example, it can definitely be devastating for Lugia and for the CGI deck. You can easily discard their energies with that first attack and strike for like a 20, maybe even 50 with a choice band. So I kind of like that attack. Also, Berserk, 80 plus 70 if you have any damage counter on one of your benched Pokemons, and with the Big Wheel GX you can shuffle your hand and drop 10 cards. That's just insane. On the other side, support GX Pokemon in this build are also going to be Tauros-GX because I'm running a Ninja Boy, and from nowhere we can surprise our opponent with the Tauros-GX, so that's a pretty sweet. But that's also the reason because I'm running Hoopa, 2 Shaymin-EXs and 1 Tapu Lele, so I really want to have option to swap between Pokemon, so Ninja Boy is the best one to do that, of course, with the Pearl City. And of course, the main attacker is going to be Yveltal-EX, and backup attacker are going to be Friday Night Yveltals. So I'm running 11 Pokemon, 36 trainer cards, and 13 energies. Main strategy with the deck, well, guess what? Start with the Yveltal-EX in the front. Go first, attach energy, then next turn strike with the Y-Cyclone, move energy either way to your Drampa or to your Yveltal, but it will depend against what type of deck you're going to play. And then simply, next turn, you can attack with a Pitch Black Spear, you can attack with your Drampa, Berserk, you can just keep going on with your Y-Cyclones or Evil Balls. The most importantly, you can just Ultra Ball for Tapu Lele when you have enough damage counters for the Rage, for example, and then simply Ninja Boy into Tauros, Rage your opponent or Mad Bull him, grab 2 prizes or 1 prize depending on what type of deck you're going to play, and that's just going to be it. That's just going to be the strategy of the game. I mean, this deck is built to be very aggressively. From the item cards, of course, I'm running 1 copy of Escape Rope, mainly because I'm not running Pokemon Ranger. Yeah. Think about Pokemon Ranger only if you play in the area, on the bigger tournaments, on the bigger events, where you're going to probably face Jolteons. Or maybe just think about taking second Escape Rope. You can always do that by cutting 1 Darkness Energy and adding Pokemon Ranger, because you're probably going to have auto loss against Jolteon once he actually managed to strike you. I mean, you can always license his bench, but if you have only 1 Jolteon in play, that's it. You can't win the game against Jolteon. Giratina, not a big deal with the Chaos Wheel, simply because with 2 Darkness Energies we can strike with our Evil Ball, so not going to be that effective. But yeah, Jolteon is the biggest concern in my eyes. But plus, you also have weakness with your Yveltals, but it's not a big deal since we have Drampa and Tauros. We can just simply go for the knockout against that Flash Ray Jolteon. But yeah, I mean, Escape Rope Lysander can also work pretty well. But definitely think about Pokemon Ranger if you feel comfortable. And if you don't feel comfortable with this build without Pokemon Ranger. But in my area, nobody actually plays Jolteon EX, so that's the reason why I just decided to build this deck. 1 copy of Field Blower, pretty good. We really like the Field Blower. It can discard the Stadium or 2 tools from play. Kind of like it. 4 copies of Max Elixirs. So look at the top 6 cards of your deck. If you find basic energy, you can attach to one of your benched Pokemons in play. It will be extra energy acceleration for our Pokemons in play. 1 copy of Super Road, of course. 3 copies of Trainer's Mails featuring 4 Ultra Balls and 4 V Seekers. You really need to have 4 Ultra Balls and 4 V Seekers in a deck like this. And of course 1 Stadium, which is going to be Pearl City, so I can basically discard my Shaymins or my Hoopas from the bench. Tapu Lele is just okay because with the double Course Energy it can use Energy Drive, so it's not that bad. Unfortunately, none of these Pokemons... I mean, yeah, this attack does 20 damage. It's not affected by weakness and resistance. There is no Pokemon in this build, or I don't even know if there is a Pokemon that actually says it can ignore all effects of your opponent attacks. I think that's the Latios EX, but unfortunately we're not running that card in this build. So we simply cannot attack our opponent Jolteon without, if he once used the Flash Ray, and I'm so worried about that Jolteon. But again, I mentioned it, cut one Darkness Energy attach, cut one Darkness Energy and tag that Pokemon Ranger. Supporter line, of course, one copy of Hexmaniac. I'm running only one Lysander. A lot of players that actually run in Yveltal deck run two Lysanders, but I couldn't find space for the second one. I feel comfortable running 3 Trainers Mails instead of 2 of them. I feel also comfortable running just the one Lysander, especially with the Tapu Lele. I'm not sure why, but I really didn't find myself in a position where I need more than one Lysander. Sometimes if your Lysander is prized, well, then you're in bad position. But anyways, we have so different options to attack once again, and we can simply surprise our opponent with the Ninja Boy. So that's the reason why also I'm running just one Lysander, because of the Ninja Boy and the Olympia and Kukui. So yeah, plenty of different tech supporter cards. 3 copies of N. Each player shuffles his or her hand in his or her deck. Then each player draws a card for each of his or her remaining prize cards. N is the best supporter card, I guess, ever printed. That's just my opinion, and the most broken card of the all times. Speaking about disruption. 1 copy of Ninja Boy, so we can simply swap between our Pokemons and play. 1 copy of Olympia for that free switch and the 30 damage heal off. I also like that. 1 copy of Professor's Kukui for extra 20 damage in 2 cards. 4 copies of Professor Sycamore, this card hand draw 7. 1 copy of Choice Band, this attack will does 30 more damage to your opponent, active Pokemon GX or EX. But this card cannot be attached, unfortunately, to our Friday Night Yveltal for that Pitch Black Spear. I mean, technically it can, but then we need to have something like the Hexmaniac for that turn when we want to attack with it, or maybe Silent Lab in play. 2 copies of Fighting Fury Belts, 2 copies of Floatstone, and of course 13 energies. 4 of them are going to be double chorus, and 9 of them are going to be just regular darkness energies. I hope you guys like this deck list. The full deck list is written in the video description. Also, if you're looking for any of these cards, you can find them on ccgcastle.com. If you're looking to trade your bulk, you can do that also on ccgcastle.com. You can trade your bulk for the Guardian Raising, Sun and Moon, Evolution, and also you can pre-order for the Sun and Moon 3. I think Bandit Rising booster box. So yeah, everything you need to know is located in my video description. You're gonna get your box shipped for free worldwide, but you just need to secure your bulk when and send it to ccgcastle.com. Alright, so let's do some game tests so you can actually see this deck in action. Make sure to hit the likes up and subscribe to the channel if you already didn't. So let's do some battles. So see you in the game. Alright, so would you like to go first? Well, yeah, why not? Let's take a look at the opening hand. There is 1 copy of Yveltal-EX available. Alright. I'm gonna play against... we shall see. There is 1 Ultra Ball in my opening hand, and he started with the Tauros. Let's see first what we can get with the Trainer's Mail. Another Max Elixir. That's sweet. Ultra Ball for Olympia and a VS Seeker will allows me to search my deck for my Hoopa-EX. With the Hoopa, I can easily set up 2 Yveltals and 1 Shaymin-EX. There we go. I can strike twice with my Max Elixirs. So let's see how many energies I can find. There is 1. Okay, so first energy. I also have 1 more Max Elixir. I need plenty of energies to one-hit knock on my opponent Tauros, so probably that's not gonna happen easily. Energy to active Yveltal. Set up for like 5. I could even go for 6, but why not to keep Escape Rope maybe for later. There's a Fighting Fury Belt to the active one, and a Trainer's Mail for something like... Actually, don't do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna Sycamore for like a 7. Literally, that's gonna be it. There's a Choice Band, and a Fighting Fury Belt, and Ultra Ball for next turn, and Tauros-GX. I decided to play all of my tool cards just because I'm not sure if my opponent maybe possibly plays Vileplume in his deck. So I really don't want to take the risk. This is going to be Tauros-GX Horn Attack for like a 90. That's a lot of damage counters, to be honest. well, 1 energy for sure and 1 copy of N. So I can maybe give him another opportunity here to do something. Plus I can also play for myself Tauros on the bench and 1 Parallel City, so I can get rid of my Shaymins from play and Hoopas. So 1 Shaymin, 1 Hoopa discarded, and that's gonna be 1 Evil Ball for like 110. Of course, he can Horn Attack for the knockout, but obviously I definitely need to start attacking his Tauros. So there we go with the Forest of John plans. That's just fine for me. And 1 Ultra Ball. So let's see. Lysander and Devolution Spray discarded. So since there's a Devolution Spray, I'm not sure if I'm gonna see Vileplume, just because of the Devolution Spray. Something tells me that he played the CGI deck, but without Vileplume. So this is the Shaymin-EX and a Floatstone. And a double Course Energy and N. Alright. This is very bad start for my opponent for sure. There's 2 Friday Night Yveltals for me, and there is finally first and second Rowlet. So yeah, that end was a little bit better for him. Not something extra, but still, if he can find Ultra Ball with that Trainer's Mail, he can maybe place another Shaymin setup for 6. And then that looks just much better. Still, he can knocks me out, as I mentioned it earlier, with his Tauros, with his Rage for like 140. But next turn I'm also gonna knocks out his Tauros with my Yveltal for like 100. And I will swap 1 of my double Course energies to my Friday Night Yveltal, of course. That's gonna be my game strategy here. Or maybe even not, because he have DC on the Shaymin, so probably he's just gonna try to Sky Return. I need my Drampa badly. Let's see, Trainer's Mail for Max Elixir, that's just okay. Double Course Energy, Max Elixir. Yeah, I can definitely expect to see Sky Return here. Let's just end. Let's just end. Less cards for my opponent by 1. Not that much, but still. Ultra Ball for Hex and Yveltal. So I can... no sign of the Drampa. Come on, you gotta be kidding me here. Y-Cyclone for like 100. And now for the knockout. Double Course Energy can go down to my another Yveltal. And 2 prize cards. I might find Drampa right now. Oh, there we go. There's a Drampa. Okay. Drampa very important because it can strike for like 150, 160, 180, depend, 190. There's first the CGI for my opponent and Sycamore for 7. Okay, fine. What else he can find? I mean, that's gonna be Sky Return and Feather Arrow to my Yveltal on the bench. And Devolution Spray, so 2 more damage counters will be spread around the board. Probably again to my Yveltal on the bench. Okay, fine. Perfectly fine. Another Tauros. How many Tauros-GX he run? And another Shaymin. Huh, okay. That Shaymin is a sweet. Especially if I'm gonna top deck double Course Energy. Then I will have surprise for my opponent. That's for sure. I can see him Sky Returning back to his Tauros-GX. That's all he really needs to do. That's all he really needs to do. There's a Drampa for me and the Max Elixir. Unfortunately, no sign of the energy card. However, there's gonna be also Tapu Lele play for something like AM. So I just need a double cores energy or regular energy. I managed to find a regular energy, at least that's something. Again, that's gonna be Yveltal for like the 90. Yeah, he can definitely use Mad-Bull-GX and knock me out without too many problems, but he definitely needs one energy card, and after that I can simply knock out his Tauros with my Yveltal. He managed to find himself a grass energy. That's gonna be the knockout. After that I'm gonna V-Seeker him back down to 2 cards with my N, and I see my opportunity after that knocking out his Shaymin. So he will definitely tries not to use Mad-Bull-GX here, so he definitely looking forward somehow to knock me out with his Rage. Can he do that? Right now he can strike for 110 base damage with the Rage, and since I have 70, that's gonna be like 180, so it's not gonna be enough. However, there is another Ultra Ball for another Shaymin-EX, and it's obvious that I'm gonna play my V-Seeker for N next turn, of course. Maybe even a Hex Maniac. Maybe even a Hex Maniac, to be honest. Maybe I can even go with my Hex Maniac here. That's also not bad. Another Feather Arrow, and that's like 90, but still he's short for like a 10. He is still short for like the 10 damage counters, and there's a V-Seeker for Sycamore probably. No, he decided to go with the N. Alright. Alright. I just still need N or V-Seeker, any of these 2 cards. I didn't find it, which is very, very uncomfortable. However, at least I have Flowstone available. But I wish I can strike for more damage counters with my Friday Night Yveltal down to his Tauros. So yeah, he managed to find himself Choice Band. Let's go with the Tapu Lele. Lysander as a top deck. 90 plus 20, 40, 60, 80, that's like 170, so I'm pretty much short for the knockout. However, with my double cores energy and with my Yveltal, that's gonna be the knockout against his Tauros, so all I really need is just to keep that Lysander play for next turn against his Shaymin, and that's it. Right now my opponent does not have opportunity to knock out my Yveltal. If he can play 3 Feather Arrows, that's like a 60, which means I will have a 70 HP left, so Tauros-GX then technically with the double cores energy and Fighting Fairy Belt, Kukui or Choice Band can be the knockout against my Yveltal, but I'm 100% positive that he's not going to be able to do that. No way. So he just lost himself a game. There's a level ball for another Dartrix, and he definitely needs to have that N in his hand, because without N, the game for my opponent is definitely over. So that's going to be 6 damage counters from the Feather Arrow, another Feather Arrow, and one more Feather Arrow, and one more Feather Arrow. Maybe he have Grass Energy for something like... No. So he just passes the turn, and I have Lysander play for that Shaymin-EX, and that's gonna be Yveltal for the knockout. So I managed to survive that very dangerous, the CGI deck with the Tauros-GX. So yeah, my opponent didn't use a single Mad-Bull-GX in this game, but he managed to knock out my Yveltals without too many problems, but at least it's a GG for me. Alright, so game number 2 is just about to start, and I have opportunity to open the game by going first, and I'm starting with 1 copy of Drampa-GX. Alright, not bad. 2 Trainers Mails, Ultra Ball, Max Elixir, V-Seeker. Plenty of different options available in my opening hand. A Field Blower as a top deck. So let's first see what we can find with the Trainer's Mail. Another Ultra Ball. I can grab it, definitely. Trainer's Mail number 2 for a Lysander. I really like that. Ultra Ball for my N and Lysander for Hoopa, of course. With the Hoopa, I can set up my bench with 2 Yveltal-EX and with 1 copy of Shaymin-EX. There we go. Plus I can Max Elixir, Ultra Ball for something else. But for now I'm just gonna keep that Ultra Ball for later. Max Elixir for 1 energy. It will goes down to my Yveltal. Set up for 3. I could go set up for 6 without too many problems. Alright, Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball for baby Yveltal. I can also play him on the bench. And V Seeker for something like a N. I really want to keep that Field Blower in my hand available, because I really don't know against what type of the deck I'm gonna play. I'm not sure what type of the deck I'm gonna face. So I will just trick my opponent with 1 Fighting Fury Belt and 1 Max Elixir, 1 more Max Elixir, down to another Yveltal-EX, and I'm passing my turn. I have 5 Pokemons on my bench. Against Zoroark, this is not good, because Mind Jack base damage can go for like 160, and on the other side, with something like a Choice Band, you can go for 190. 190 is more than enough to one-hit knock out any of EXs in the standard format, except for the Veiled, of course, and pretty much for more than enough to one-hit knock against very popular GX Pokemons. So that's the 1 Ultra Ball for my opponent. For a V-Seeker and Sycamore, I still decided to keep my Drampa in the front, because he can always confuse me, for example, with the Moonless Madness, and that's the reason why I didn't even want to attach my Floatstone or even goes with the my Yveltal-EX in the front, just because of the Moonless Madness. So he Ultra Ball for Tapu Lele-GX. And with his Tapu Lele-GX, he will just grab 1 supporter card. Sometimes I play Pokemon TCG game like I play poker. I always have that poker face. Sometimes I don't play some cards that probably 90% of the players would do. I'm just taking a risk. If you don't risk, you can't win. I mean, you can, but it's much sweeter when you win with the risk than without the risk. So this is Instructing is gonna be for 1, and probably he's just gonna use Moonless Madness right now to confuse my Drampa, as expected. That's sweet. Oh, nice top deck for me. Let's see what we can find with Kukui, Tapu Lele, and the N. So there we go. 1 Retreat and 1 Y Cyclone, which will be more than enough for the knockout. 120 in total, and that's it. 1 prize card for me. It's another double Chorus Energy, and I'm waiting to see what my opponent is capable to do. Of course, he's gonna promote his Zorua, because Zoroark double Chorus Energy will allows him to go for the 1-hit knockout against my Yveltal if he can find something like a Field Blower. There is also Umbreon GX. Okay, and Instruct for 1. There we go with the Choice Band. So right now the base damage with the Mind Jack is 190, but there's 1 copy of Professor Sycamore, which means my bench will stay untucked. The question is, can he find a double Chorus Energy and a Field Blower to 1-hit knock out my Yveltal? If he miss any of these 2 cards, well, then I can tell I can tell that I will have knockout with my another Y Cyclone next turn for like the 100, because I luckily have that Fighting Fury Belt attached. And for my opponent, unfortunately, Zoroark have 2 retreat costs, so even if he can find 1 energy, he can't retreat down to his bench. But this is Energy Evolution Eevee, so there we go with another Umbreon. Alright, my turn. So I managed to survive the most important part of the game. There we go with the Trainer's Mail for another Max Elixir. And mainly I'm looking for just 1 energy so I can attach it, but it's not gonna happen. Another Fighting Fury Belt for me. And I will definitely go with 1 end right now, helping my opponent, but I also need that Lysander for next turn. available. There's gonna be Y-Cyclone without too many questions. Energy, guess what, where my energy will go? Down to my Drampa, of course. Down to my Drampa, so I can have 3 different attackers available for next turn. There's also Escape Rope. So with the Escape Rope, I can maybe force him to promote Oranguru, so I can at least knock out one of his Orangurus. The big problem for me might occur right now if he decided to use his Dark Hole GX, so he can just discard my active Darkness energy and my Double Cores energy. Maybe he just decided to strike me with the Shadow Bullet, we shall see. He have 2 different options here to go, but he might just decide to use the Dark Hole GX. But the good thing for me definitely is that I have Escape Rope available, so even if he do that, I will still have 1 attack ready to go. And even more important, I have VE Seeker, which means I will just definitely have the knockout against his Zoroark, which is very important for me. Those Zoroarks needs to be knocked out without too many questions, but he decided to end. Alright, so I'm going down to 4 cards, and I will lose my Escape Rope. But I will pull another Escape Rope with 2 Darkness energies and 1 Double Cores energy. So far so good, I really won't complain. Still I can play Ninja Boy, for example, from nowhere for that Tauros-GX, and I can simply, boom, shakalaka surprise my opponent. There we go with another Ultra Ball for my opponent. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe 1 more Zorua. Nope, just for the Zoroark. Alright, but at least I lost my VE Seeker. Okay, let's see. He have 2 different options, as I mentioned it. He can Shadow Bullet for like 120 and spread 3 damage counters to maybe my Yveltal-EX on the bench, and then he can again 120 and spread 3 more damage counters to my Yveltal on the bench. Yeah, he decided to go with the Shadow Bullet. Alright, that's just perfectly fine for me. But this is just ridiculous to attack my Yveltal with 30, to be honest. I'm not sure if that was a clever move for my opponent. Really, I'm not sure if that was a clever move for my opponent. Let's go with the Escape Rope. Let's see what he can promote in the front. If he decides to promote his Oranguru, that's definitely going to be the knockout. So 1 more prize card for me, that's for sure. But he decided to do something like that. Alright, interesting. I can still strike for like 150. That's a crazy amount of damage counters. 150, that's just tons of damage counters. Well, there's a choice band for Zoroark. The question is, can he maybe find a double chorus energy? We shall see. Double chorus energy guaranteed a knockout against my Drampa-GX, but so far, there we go with the Sycamore for 7. So far, I see only 1 attached to his Umbreon. Alright, so I was thinking, to be honest, about Sky returning my Shaymin down to my Friday Night Yveltal. I don't know why he decided to concede. Probably he didn't find a double cores energy. That's the only reason why he decided to concede. No double cores energy for the knockout, and yeah, that's the GG, unfortunately, for my opponent. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Well, that was my Friday Night Yveltal-EX Drampa-GX deck in the standard format 2016-2017. I should definitely say it's a competitive deck on the top level. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Let me know also what you think about this deck in the comments below. Well, stay tuned for more upcoming videos in the future. Also, stay tuned for 1 more battle with this deck, which I'm definitely gonna upload later. I played against Mega Guardy. That was such a nice game. I decided not to put it into this video because it was like 20 minutes battle. So yeah, anyways, you're gonna definitely watch that a little bit later, so stay tuned for that. Have a nice day wherever you are. Once again, thanks for subscribing and watching this video, and for supporting me. So that was pretty much it for today's video. We'll see you next time, so have a nice day and goodbye.